Okay, Patricia, you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so when I'm in this payer tab, okay, so let's go like this here. Let's say this client has a weekly benefit, $100 a week, of $100 a day, so it's 700 a week, right? Okay.
Yeah,
What client are we in here? We are in Bob Barker. Let me go back to this financial page here, because I want to make it easier here. Payment terms, and we're going to go to LTCI, $25 an hour. Save, update. Okay. Now let's go to his payer. Okay, and we're going to say weekly 100. Okay, 365 there. Okay, let's go ahead and hit update there. Okay,
go to claims as well.
okay. Now let's change that to this, and let's change it back to that. So it should show 25 when I hit hourly here. Okay, perfect. Okay,
Go. Save it.
and save. Okay. Um. Okay, so this is additional logic that comes on here that I'm thinking here. Okay, so right now, it's just like you said, if I schedule a shift for 5 hours, it's going to say, hey, are you sure you want to do this, right? It's going to give you that warning, right?
Right.
Okay. In this page right here, we show that this policy has a weekly benefit. So here's your 4 times 7 is 28.
Mhm.
Okay. So this is working correctly because we're over scheduling, right? That's what this is saying here.
Right.
Okay.
So as per the policy, it's 28 hours, but the client is scheduled for 42.8 hours.
Okay. So it's already doing this here. So this is showing here that it's okay.
And as per the scheduling, as per the policy, the revenue should be $700, but with over scheduling, the amount is $1,070.
Okay. And then this is saying, hey, we billed this much money based on $25 an hour. This is how many hours we billed.
Right.
Now I'm wondering, yeah, so if it's scheduled, it doesn't matter. This is just looking at billed, right? Yeah. So because down here is looking at weekly scheduled and here's the weekly billed. So this should just be billed, okay? Um I think now let's go back to this profile. Oh, let's go to updates and let's say they have a, sorry, a monthly benefit of 3,100. Save. So they have a monthly benefit of 3,100. Okay. And then we go to here. And let's say they have 24 hours. Save. So in other words, they have not been given a restricted number of hours during the day, right? So they can do 24 hours in a day, okay? But remember, they still only have
$3,100.
3,100, right? And so,
Yes,
let's say that at $25 an hour, what's 3,100 divided by 25? Let me calculator on me. Have you calculator on you anywhere?
yes. It is $124.
120. So 124 hours?
Dollars.
No, because we have dollars. No, what I'm saying is like, so $3,100 is the maximum amount they're going to pay on a monthly benefit, right? So
Right.
at $25 an hour, how many hours is that?
That's 124 hours.
So you get 124 hours. So I'm thinking
Right.
what it should be somewhere on here is once this information is done here,
Mm-hmm.
is here, it maybe should bring it over here,
The
showing
hours,
how many hours you
120.
get for the month, because it's a monthly, right?
Agree.
Okay. So then when you go, now let's look at this here. You see this? What's interesting here, see this? Oh, did we refresh that? Hold on. Because Patrice, what happened was when there were things that I wanted to do with this that we never
Mm-hmm.
really dug deep into because we never got to that level because we ended up parting ways, right? Um, so this, let me go back to, I'm sorry. So here we're still saying 24 hours approved by the carrier. So now when we go to this,
Can you go to LTCI claims and just click on save?
oh, yes,
Right. Now go to profile.
that was Bob Barker, right?
Yeah.
Monthly, 25,
24.
yep, okay. Now, yeah. It is still only showing 4 hours, right?
Yes. Something is off here.
Yeah. So what that should have done right on here was basically said, policy,
124 hours into
but
7.
this here is a weekly stuff, right? And so really what it
Yes.
should do, because it's weekly, right? So it'd be 124 divided by 7 is what? No, I'm sorry,
124 divided by
124 divided by 4
31.
would be 31 hours, right? Because we basically said, hey, because there's only 124 hours, and so that, when it comes to weekly, actually it wouldn't be divided by 24 because you got to divide it by, you have to take the annual hours, right? Because sometimes
Right.
there's 52 weeks in a year, right? So you have to really um go
That-
you have to almost look at it more like this here, long-term care insurance for the year. Okay, let's go back to here. Payer. 36, there are 3650. Yeah, which then tells you there are, oops, right here.
is 1460 hours.
1460, is that right here, right? Really should be.
Evan, why 1460? How does this figure come up?
I think it's adding these two together here. Because this is
But
how many total hours?
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
but why the total hours is 1460?
Well, because we're taking $25 an hour, we have
Uh,
we have a total, when we come back to this, where was that at? You got updates. Okay, and we've got this right here. What is 36,500 divided by 25? Should be 1460, right?
yes, that's 1460, correct.
Yeah. So
That's
that's
the
the
lifetime.
maximum lifetime hours. That's where
Got
that's
it.
coming from here. So
Right.
really, if you wanted to know what the weekly hours would be, it would be 1460 divided by 52, right?
Yes, that's 28. That's how
There,
the 28 is coming.
there's the 28 right there. Okay, so let's do this then. Let's now let's go back here to updates and let's give
Change.
this 200. Okay. Now let's hit save here. And now let's go to here. Yeah, so it's working.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, now let's go to updates and let's go to here. And let's say it is 4 hours in a day. Save here. Okay. And now profile.
No,
Oops.
I think in the calculation daily hours, it's not considered.
Okay. Yeah. So now it's saying here, because it's still figuring on it based on,
The total
y-
service
so
hours.
this is really not looking at the authorizations, that are on there. This is just looking
Right,
at what you get.
right.
Yeah. So this is right. That's right. What I'm thinking of is like, if they have a policy that has, I like the fact, what it's doing on hey, you're going over your 4 hours for the day, right?
Mhm.
But what if, you know, what if they're
I
approved?
mean,
Go ahead.
there is a mismatch actually. So if it's 56 hours as per the policy, it should be 56 hours. That means 8 hours per day, right?
Yeah, yeah, because this right here is correct on a not on an authorization basis. This is just
Mhm.
correct on a new number basis, as in, hey, if you were to bill the maximum amount of, $25 an hour, I mean, that would, you can get this many hours a week, you can get, and right now you're scheduled for this many right here. What it's not take, we need to have another, graph that's more like, you know, schedule. Oh, let's look at under scheduling here. Yeah. It's kind of like here, the scheduled versus actual that's underneath here, where
Mhm.
it's authorized.
Authorized versus scheduled versus actual.
Yeah, because, what I'm saying is like, what if they've got by the way, I like the fact that like, okay, yeah, yeah, I'm recording this, so we'll hold on. I won't make that comment. So, let's see here. Let's go back to payer tab here. Okay. What I want to do here is we're going to make this multiplier a big benefit. Okay. 1,085. Save. Okay. So here we got this big fat policy that's like that right there. Okay.
Mhm.
And then we've got, no, what I want to do is make it a smaller policy. Um, let's do an example of these small little policies. So let's say there's an $80 a day benefit and it's a monthly benefit there. Okay, so we've got a weekly benefit of $80 a day, 560 a week.
Right.
Okay, now we're gonna go to claims here. And let's give them a 4-hour shift. Okay, so basically if I created a 4-hour shift,
And that's like 28 hours in a week.
okay,
But as per the claim, it is 56 hours in a week.
okay, so now let's go to Bob Barker. Okay, so let's go to his schedule now. Let me look at his schedule. I'm going to delete this here. Let's go to bulk, delete. Yeah,
That's another functionality missing in NerdSloop. I
yeah,
have created a video and shared it with Sai.
yeah. Okay, so that's gone. Okay, so now here we have this week, which is a Sunday through Saturday. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and make a schedule that starts at like 8 a.m., 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 to 12. Okay, and I'm going to put Robert on there. We'll put Angela on there. Long-term care insurance. Hourly. Okay. Okay. That did exactly what it's supposed to do, right? So now let's say we're going to make it go to 1 o'clock. There's your alert right there, right? Okay.
Right.
Well, what I'm thinking of is we're missing almost a level of an alert here. That let's say we're going back here. So we're good here, right? So we're fine here, but however, remember, we're billing $25 an hour, right? Times 4,
Right.
that's $100. That's a $100
$100.
shift, right?
Right. But the amount authorized is $80.
The amount, they're only going to pay 80. So
Right.
it
Right. Right.
seems like here that we may, but
Have
hold
to
on a second
make
here.
it.
That is let's go back.
So,
But it's not authorized
uh,
member because it's a weekly benefit. So let's say we do this right here. So let's go ahead and go,
mhm,
let's put Angela on it. Okay. And now I'm going to go hourly. Okay. Everything's good. And they're still going to pay for that, right? Because this is the first day of the week, the
right.
19th. I hit save. There it is right there. Okay. Now I'm going to come in here. I'm going to make another shift for 8 a.m. to 12 here.
Click on this refresh.
Okay. I'm putting a different caregiver because that shouldn't matter. Okay, here's 25 times 4, right? Okay. So now I'm creating a single shift. So what it should be looking at, okay, you're good for the day. That's good. Now you give me the caregivers going into overtime, right?
Mhm.
Which is good.
Okay.
But also it may be showing that, okay, hey, you are now committed, you are now scheduling for 8 of the, remember the $80.
Out of $80, you have scheduled. I mean, out of $560, you have
500,
scheduled
yeah,
for
$560
$200.
or in hours, like 560 divided by 25 is how many weekly do they get, right?
560 divided by 25 is 22.4.
Yeah, 22.4, right? So it would basically, logic should be like, okay, the weekly benefit is 22.4. You're now, this will make 8 hours, you know, of that, right? And so it kind of goes and
Right.
yep. And then hit save. Okay. And then let's say we're going to go under here and we're going to say 8. Oops. To 12. Roger. Long-term care insurance. Hourly. Now, here, because we're in the client schedule, it doesn't allow us to do reoccurring.
Mhm.
You see that? That's something that was an oversight. We
Yes.
should have been able to do reoccurring. So let's say we're going to go to the calendar here. Schedule. And we're going to add a shift. Bob Barker. For this day from 8 to 12. Roger. Long-term care insurance. Hourly. Reoccurring. Weekly. Into there.
So basically it should do the calculation that you are allowed
Yeah, so
for
basically, yeah, it's gonna
20.
go, it's gonna look back, okay, for the week, we've already, because remember, we've already scheduled 8, right? Now,
Mm,
you've just scheduled X amount of more for the week. And so now it's saying, hey, you're scheduling to go over the authorized amount that the policy will pay for. Are you sure you want to go on it? So it gives right now it's working perfectly for how many daily hours that are on there.
right.
But we really need to look at it. It's like, hey, you're about ready to schedule. You're going to cause, out of pocket expenses privately here. Are you sure you want to move forward on this, right? So,
Right.
and so if it's a monthly benefit, then it's going to look at it and do the same calculations for monthly, you know. And if
Right.
it's a daily benefit, it already does it daily. It already does it on a daily basis, right? Um, but so I was thinking is the enhancement on there really needs to look at,
Should
hey, that's great doing the daily
completely
stuff,
agree.
but also because somebody might be approved for 24 hours a day, but their policy, that's the biggest confusion clients would get. They would get a call and they'd go, I've been approved for 24/7. And we'd say, yeah, but they will pay for up to 24/7, but your policy only has this much money and you have to pay anything after that, right? You know,
Right.
so that, so I don't know do you want to spec out that logic for,
I will.
okay, yeah, because I
I'll do
think,
that.
you know, because you understand what I'm talking about, and Cy trying to do that, I think we would end up going many loops around trying to get that right. So that'd be great to
I
spec that
will
out. So, um,
I will create a task with this description that we discussed.
okay. And then also when you're on the client schedule, making a
Mhm.
shift, add the button, to do reoccurring as well. I think they already, no, actually they can't even build a schedule right now from the client's schedule. So, but when they
Data.
do that, that needs to be there. And they need to understand should never be able to build a schedule from a caregiver's calendar. It's only from the company's calendar overall or the client's calendar, not the
Right.
caregivers. So,
Right.
okay, that's all I wanted to go on that logic. And then let's go back to the um, logic of all. Okay, let's go back into Bob Barker again here and his payer profile here. Okay, and then so here's where we need to add that logic that's showing here.
The authorized hours.
Yes, yeah,
of the plan.
authorized hours. So we have so instead of having this one big one here, maybe break it up and you'll have one, yeah, because I think we want this right here, scheduled versus authorized, you know.
So
Um,
there will be one more
bar
uh
chart, yeah,
bar chart. Yeah,
yeah, that says authorized,
authorized hours.
yeah. What it might do is authorized, scheduled, and actual, right? You know,
Actual,
so,
right,
so it'll have three of them that are on there, right? So,
right.
yep, tracks it. Okay, perfect. All right,
I'll do that.
appreciate
Yeah.
you. Thanks, Patrice.
Thanks, Robert.
Yeah, have a good night.
Bye.
There.